Hey guys, this is Christian here. Today we're going to go over the BAFTA winners, but before I get into this, please like, subscribe, and tell me what you think of this live stream. So yeah, the BAFTAs just happened. They ended maybe almost an hour ago, and the winners were interesting. I didn't do so great with my accuracy. I didn't do the greatest, but with all that said, we're just gonna go over what won. We're gonna end with best picture, so we're gonna go from this list from the bottom all the way up because I want to end with best picture. So we're going to start with the EE Rising Star Award, which went to Robert Aramayo, which I had predicted that he would win. Their streak of always going with a British person continues, and yeah, he won, and we're going to see. They loved, I swear. So yeah, don't really have anything else to add to that. British. I don't have anything really to say about the short categories. Move on. Okay, visual effects. I predicted Avatar, Fire, and this was actually the first award that was presented. This isn't in the order of how they were presented, but this was the first. I had predicted that Avatar, Fire, and Ash would win, and it did. To all the people who were kind of doubting it because it wasn't nominated for Best Picture, it has this, and it's going to win Visual Effects Society, and has Critics' Choice. Avatar's winning visual effects. Those movies are the dictionary definition of visual effects. And F1 couldn't win here. Frankenstein's not even nominated for the Oscar, but F1 couldn't do it. So Avatar, I think, has this win pretty much in the bag. A lot of the tech categories are pretty easy this year. Next, we have Best Sound. I predicted that F1 would win, and it did. Yeah, F1's just winning sound. Easy peasy. It seemed like going for something else would have been a reach. Like, F1 made the most sense, and they did it. A lot of these tech categories, I just don't have much to say. Oh, another one. Best Production Design. I had predicted that Frankenstein would win, and it did. Frankenstein has that award locked up for the Oscar. Nothing else to say other than it's just Frankenstein. Next, we have original score. I had predicted that Sinners would win, and it did. Ludwig Göransson continues to sweep, and he's going to win the Oscar. It's pretty locked up. So many of these tech categories are very boring. Like, they're super easy. We can have a little bit of a conversation with maybe a few, but a lot of them are very straightforward. Another straightforward one, makeup and hair. I had predicted that Frankenstein would win, and it did. And it's going to win the Oscar. No brainer here. Frankenstein's winning 3 Oscars. What will be the third one? We'll get to that right next, actually. So costume design, I had predicted that Frankenstein would win, and it did. So Frankenstein's guaranteed 3 Oscars: costumes, makeup, production design. Any questions? No, there aren't any, because it's that easy. Next, we have editing. This one's a little bit interesting. I had predicted that F1 would win, and one battle after another one. So I thought they were going to shake things up and go with the racing movie because they love their racing movies. They gave it to Rush, Ford v Ferrari. They like their cars, and one battle has cars. It has a whole car chase scene. So maybe that was the deciding factor. Who knows? Anyway, one battle's winning editing. This was the deciding factor for what my Oscar prediction would be. And now that one battle has the win, it's going to win the Oscar. F1 has Critics' Choice. It's probably going to win the Eddie Award for drama. And I think one battle is going to win the Eddie Award for comedy. And then one battle is going to win the Oscar, I feel like. So a tech category that I thought going in was going to be tough, but it seems like it's probably just going to be one battle. And then cinematography. I had predicted that one battle after another would win this, and it did. I don't think this one's totally locked up. Train Dreams won Critics' Choice. One battle won the British Society of Cinematographers. So BSC and BAFTA did the same movie. We'll see what wins ASC. We'll see if they just go with one. I kind of just say that they're just going to do one battle at this point. But they could do Sinners. They could do Train Dreams. I kind of feel like BAFTA is the most important. They've been the most important, so I'm probably just going to say one battle wins the Oscar. It has 2 of the big 3. ASC is the other one. It has BSC and BAFTA already. Critics' Choice did Train Dreams. Kind of feel like that's a fluke, but that could win ASC, I guess. And they gave it to, like, the Tree of Life and stuff, so that would make sense. And Sinners, it'd be so weird for that not to win a single precursor because of how showy the cinematography is. Autumn Durrell-Darkopa would be the first woman to win the Oscar for this category, and she was the first woman of color to be nominated. But it seems like they're just going with One Battle. I guess. I had a feeling they wouldn't do Sinners though. I had a feeling BAFTA wouldn't do it. Although that, looking at what we're gonna see, that may have been the runner-up for best film actually. But One Battle won, dominated. I think it's probably gonna win the Oscar, although it's not locked up. I still think there's an opening for something else to win, whether it's Sinners or Train Dreams. Casting. Oh, this one's interesting. I had predicted that Marty Supreme would win, and the winner was I Swear. So they just went with a British thing. So yeah, it's kind of like when Rocks won, that British movie from like years ago, when that won. But yeah, I can't get this category right for anything. The only time I got casting right was when The Holdovers won. But aside from that, I just can't stop missing. Anyway, I think this is obviously irrelevant to the Oscar because I Swear is not nominated for that. It just doubles down my opinion that I'm just going to predict whatever wins SAG Ensemble to win the Oscar. Because the SAG Ensemble lineup was actually 4 out of 5 with the casting lineup at the Oscars. The only difference is that they did Frankenstein while the Oscars did The Secret Agent. So yeah, if they go with Sinners, I'm going to say Sinners wins the casting Oscar. If they say One Battle, I think One Battle wins the casting Oscar. I don't think Marty Supreme or Hamnet are doing it. Next, supporting. Oh yes, we have to talk about this one. Supporting actor. I had predicted that Stellan Skarsgård would win for Sentimental Value, and the winner was Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, who I had at number 3. I had Benicio del Toro at number 2, and Stellan at number 1. But yeah, so Stellan's chances of winning are unfortunately gone, which is a shame because he's my favorite performance nominated for the Oscar, and I would have loved to see him win. But without a BAFTA win, he can't do it because he's not nominated for SAG. So like, he can't win there. He only has the Golden Globe win. So I just don't think that's enough. I think Sean Penn, is going to win the Oscar. I feel like it's the baitiest performance. They're not going to care that it's his 3rd Oscar. Like, they'll give it to him anyway. And they don't care that he's not the greatest person. They're not going to care that he wasn't even at the BAFTAs. He wasn't even there. He couldn't even give a speech. If he's winning, if the BAFTAs are going to do something, the Oscars could easily do it. We'll see what SAG does, and if they do Benicio del Toro, first of all, that's going to mean all the precursors were different because Critics' Choice did Jacob Elordi, Golden Globes did Stellan Skarsgård, BAFTA did Sean Penn, and then SAG did Benicio del Toro. So it'd mean all the precursors are different. I kind of think I'd go with Benicio at that point, or Sean Penn. It'd be that scenario would be very tough. I wouldn't be a psychopath and do Delroy Lindo. No. Yeah, if SAG does Elordi, though, I'm picking Sean Penn because One Battle is winning Best Picture, or at least it's the front runner. I'll say it's the front runner. I think it's winning, but I'm going to say it's the front runner in case Sinners somehow wins PGA next week. But yeah, I just think usually the stronger movie prevails in these categories. The only time when the strongest movie didn't prevail was when Brendan Fraser beat Austin Butler because The Whale wasn't nominated for Best Picture, but Elvis was. And then when Regina King beat Rachel Weisz won the BAFTA for The Favorite. Regina King wasn't even nominated for SAG or BAFTA, but she won Globe and Critics' Choice and was the Critics' Sweeper, so she won the Oscar. And Beale Street wasn't nominated for Best Picture. The Favorite had like 10 nominations. Those are like the only 2 examples, though, I can think of where they didn't go with the stronger movie, though. Like, Anora was stronger than The Substance. The Father was stronger than Ma Rainey. The Father was in Best Picture. Ma Rainey was not. And Anora was winning Best Picture. The Substance was not. Any other ones I can think? Poor Things was stronger than Killers of the Flower Moon. So Emma Stone won that. Everything Everywhere was stronger than Banshees and Tar. We'll talk about that with all 3 of Everything Everywhere's acting wins. Like, it was the strongest movie overall. It was winning Best Picture. So I feel like most of the time they go with the stronger movies. So I think if SAG goes with Elordi, BAFTA's already going to have given it to a One Battle actor, and I think that's who's going to win the Oscar. If SAG does Del Toro, though, if they do Penn, it's very obviously him, because if you win both of those, you're winning the Oscar. But if they do Del Toro, we have like a huge race in our hands. But I'm just gonna say Sean Penn always made sense. The reason why I had Stellan Skarsgård, I've had him since the day after Oscar nominations. The reason why, one, I felt like he could win here. Two, at the time I didn't know who was winning, and then after I saw Sentimental Value, it kind of became a hope dictating thing because he's my favorite performance there. Although Sean Penn's my second favorite, so it works out. So yeah, I think Sean Penn might be winning the Oscar. I'm probably gonna predict that he's gonna win for now, but we'll see what SAG does. SAG could go many different directions. Like I'm probably not gonna do that great with predictions there. Do you guys want to see SAG winner predictions? I'll post a poll. If you guys want to see SAG winner predictions, they'd be sometime this week. Although this week for me is a little bit busy, so I may not have the time to do it. But I will be doing a winner discussion next Monday. I'll be doing that in PGA in one video, in one stream. I mean, so there's that. But yeah, supporting actor Sean Penn won, and he's in the race. I feel like he's gonna win the Oscar. Next, we have another supporting category, supporting actress. Another one I was wrong in, and this one I think is even less clear than supporting actor is. So I predicted that Tiana Taylor would win for one battle after another, and they gave it to Wumi Masaku for Sinners. They could have given it to Inga or Tiana Taylor, but they chose Masaku. They chose the British actress. So this is definitely a British win, or is it? Like Masaku's British. She was a previous BAFTA winner for TV. So like it makes sense that she would win here. But now I'm actually very worried about SAG. Like I think if Sinners is winning ensemble, she could come along with it and then win the Oscar. Because obviously if she wins both of them, she's gonna win. It depends on who wins SAG. If Tiana Taylor wins SAG, she's gonna win because again, stronger movie. One Battle's the front runner for Best Picture. Sinners, while being the clear number 2, is probably not gonna win Best Picture. So again, it just comes down to the stronger movie. If Amy Madigan wins SAG, obviously you see here she wasn't even nominated at the BAFTAs. But if she won SAG, which I guess is possible because they like their narratives a lot, I don't think it would mean much because she, again, at the Oscars, Weapons isn't nominated anywhere else. Like Madigan is the only nomination for a movie. Compare that to Tiana Taylor being in the Best Picture frontrunner and Wumi Masaku being in the Best Picture runner-up, like the easy number 2, like nothing else really stands a shot. Then like Madigan just doesn't compare to them. So again, it just depends on whether or not Masaku or Taylor wins SAG. I kind of think it'd be weird for Taylor to only have Globe because she won the Golden Globe, and then it'd be weird for her to win there and then not win a big prize because One Battle is such a strong movie overall. I don't think the BAFTA win on its own, the BAFTA loss on its own, is that surprising. But Inga's long gone. For her winning chances are done, unfortunately. I think I'd probably vote for her to win, but she's not winning. Not without a BAFTA win. I knew like she wasn't actually going to win the BAFTA, although I had her at number 2. Should have had her at number 3. Should have had Masaku at number 2. Anyway, it just depends on who wins SAG. If it's Masaku, I think she wins. If it's Taylor, I think she wins. If it's Madigan, I think I'd go with Masaku because BAFTA's a stronger win than Golden Globe. And yeah, because again, I don't think lone Golden Globe is enough. I think she needs to win somewhere else, and that would be the SAG award. I guess Sinners, could that win at the SAG Ensemble without getting other wins? Maybe, but I feel like I have it winning SAG Ensemble for now. I really think One Battle could do it, but yeah, that's tough. That's very tough. But yeah, Masaku winning, is it just a British thing, or is it actually a huge deal, and is she going to win the Oscar? For now, until SAG, I'm probably just going to stick with Tiana Taylor because she's in the movie that's the frontrunner for picture, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Masaku took SAG, and then I obviously have to have her up front for the Oscar. Do you guys know the interesting thing is that all of the supporting precursors, when I'm talking about the major precursors, all of the supporting winners have been different so far. I touched on that a little bit with supporting actor, but supporting actress has been different too. So Critics' Choice did Amy Madigan, Golden Globe did Tiana Taylor, and BAFTA did Wumi Masaku. So like we'll see. SAG could maybe do the Critics' Choice winners and do Madigan and Elordi, but in that case, I wouldn't predict either of them to win the Oscar. They could go with Mosaku and Penn and go with what BAFTA did, and in that case, it'd be very obvious. Or they could go with Taylor and Del Toro and go with a Globe winner and then someone who hasn't won anything yet. And then supporting actor would be tough, but I think supporting actress would be Tiana Taylor. So yeah, the supporting categories. Well, I think supporting actor is a little more obvious than supporting actress. I really think Penn just makes so much sense to win the Oscar. The only way it becomes complicated is if Benicio del Toro wins SAG. Because even if Elordi won, I'd still go with Sean Penn. Because One Battle is stronger than Frankenstein by a lot. And supporting actress, again, I think it's a very close race. It just depends on who wins SAG. If it's Madigan, I'd probably go with Mosaku. If Mosaku wins, I'm obviously going with her. And then if Taylor wins, I think she would win. Anyway, I think that's pretty much enough about the supporting categories. Next is probably a lead actor. This one's an interesting one as well. So I predicted that Timothée Chalamet would win for Marty Supreme, and the winner was Robert R. Mayo for I Swear. Yeah, I told you, they loved I Swear. They loved it. This is a British one for sure. Like this doesn't have any bearing on the Oscar because R. Mayo's not nominated for the Oscar. I think this is like the first case in a while, that someone won without being nominated for the Oscar, while there were other Oscar nominees in the category. There was that time when Joanna Scanlon won. That was 5 years ago, I think. No, 4, because it was the House of Gucci year. It was the year Coda won Best Picture. She won the BAFTA, but none of the Oscar nominees for Best Actress were even nominated there. So, like, that's not the same thing as this, where R.M.I. beat Chalamet, DiCaprio, Hawke, and Michael B. Jordan, who were all Oscar nominees. Clemens isn't. Wagner Moore is nominated instead. But, yeah. I think this just means, like, the winner's going to be whoever wins SAG, right? Like, if Timothée Chalamet wins SAG, he wins. If they go with Michael B. Jordan, he would win, I guess. If they go with DiCaprio, he would win. If they go with Clemens, Moore would win. If they go with Hawke would win, like stuff like that. I think SAG's still going to do Timothée Chalamet. I don't have a reason to say that they do anything else. I guess maybe they could do Michael B. Jordan. At this point, I feel like DiCaprio's just not winning. I mean, this is the second time where one of his co-stars have won, and he still failed to win. Because at the Globes, Tiana Taylor won. He didn't win. He couldn't beat Timothée Chalamet. And then here, Sean Penn won, and he couldn't even beat a non-Oscar nominee. So I don't really think he's winning. I'm going to stick with Timothée Chalamet for now. I think he just makes the most sense to win SAG and Oscar. What's next? Actress. Okay, this one's easy. So I predicted that Jessie Buckley would win for Hamnet, and she did. So actress is obvious. She's going to win the SAG and the Oscar, too. Yeah, don't have anything else to say. Other than it's easy. It's very easy. She actually is in the strongest movie out of the Oscar lineup, too. The Oscar lineup is all these people minus Chase Infinity. So, like, even if SAG wanted to go rogue and go with, like, Rose Byrne or Kate Hudson or Emma Stone, like, that wouldn't matter because Buckley's winning. And if they want to be crazy and do Chase Infinity, which they're not going to, she's not Oscar nominated. But yeah, Buckley's winning the SAG. Hamnet's not nominated for ensemble, so that gives it strength. That gives her strength as well. Yeah, actress is easy. Moving on. Next is adapted screenplay. So I predicted that One Battle After Another would win, and it did. One Battle's been completely dominant in screenplay. It even won the Golden Globe in one category. So it's obviously winning the Oscar. And original screenplay, I predicted that Sentimental Value would win. But they didn't care. They Sinners. They didn't do their own thing. They did the obvious choice, which is Sinners. And Sinners is absolutely winning the Oscar. It's gonna win WGA. It has Critics' Choice. Both screenplay categories are super locked up at this point. I'd be shocked if they went any other way. This was the place where they would have went against Sinners, but they didn't do it. So, yeah, he's winning. Coogler's winning an Oscar. Paul Thomas Anderson's winning an Oscar. Yeah. What's next? Director's next. So I had predicted that Paul Thomas Anderson would win, and he did. He swept the whole season. He won Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, DGA, BAFTA. He's winning the Oscar. No brainer there. Yeah, moving on. Children's and family film. I predicted Zootopia 2, but it was boom, bong. Never heard of that movie. Best animated film. I had predicted Zootopia 2, and it won. I was a little bit worried that they were going to do Little Amelie. When I started getting so many categories wrong, I was like, oh, they're doing Little Amelie for animated. But they didn't. They did Zootopia 2. Kind of strange that won, and then the first movie didn't win. But anyway, it doesn't mean anything because the obvious Oscar frontrunner, K-pop Demon Hunters, wasn't even there. So, and they had a performance for that at the BAFTAs. They performed Golden or something. Yeah, K-pop's obviously winning the Oscars. At the Annie Awards, it won every single category it was nominated for. So it was nominated for 10 categories and won every single one. K-pop. So it's obviously winning the Oscar. So BAFTAs were just crazy and didn't make it eligible. Next is documentary. Oh, this one's a little interesting. I had predicted that The Perfect Neighbor would win, and they gave it to Mr. Nobody Against Putin. I guess this can be because Perfect Neighbor is a very American documentary, and Mr. Nobody Against Putin is a more worldwide one. So I guess that's where it comes in. I think that's the runner-up for the Oscar. I still think Perfect Neighbor is going to win, though. It's won pretty much everywhere else that's been nominated. So yeah. Next is international feature. I predicted Sentimental Value, and it won. I was getting a little bit worried because that didn't win anything else. Like, this was the only category it won. But they still gave it to Sentimental Value. Secret Agent had that screenplay nomination, so if they really wanted to upset, they could have. But it wasn't longlisted for best movie, for best film. So, yeah. And I feel like Sentimental Value is going to win the Oscar. I mean, it has the most going for it. It wouldn't surprise me if they did Secret Agent. I think that's definitely a possibility. If it wins, though, Sentimental Value is probably winning 0 Oscars out of 9 nominations. That'd be pretty bad. And I think because it's a great movie, it deserves to win some categories. I think Stellan would be a great winner. Sean Penn is too. And I think Inga would be a great winner. Tiana Taylor and Masako, though, they're great ones too. The acting categories this year are very solid. A lot of amazing performances. Yeah, I'm going to say Sentimental Value wins the Oscar. Just has the most going for it. So, yeah. Next is British debut, which went to My Father's Shadow. I predicted Pillion, but yeah. Next is British film. I predicted Hamnet would win, and it did. If there's a best film nominee there, it always wins. I swear, though, I guess they could have been weird and gone with that because they love the movie, but Hamnet was in best film, so. There was the one time where Zone of Interest wasn't in Best Film and Poor Things was, and then Zone won over Poor Things. But Zone was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, so like that makes a little bit of sense. I Swear was not nominated for a single Oscar. And Best Film, I predicted One Battle After Another would win, and it did. Again, usually if there's a big juggernaut like in Oppenheimer or a Nomadland, well, I guess that's not a juggernaut. That probably would have lost in a normal year. But it swept everything. So if there's a movie like that or a 12 Years a Slave as well, it wins. Like, they don't really do anything different. They don't go with a Hamnet or anything. Hamnet wasn't even nominated for editing, so there's that. And Marty Supreme, I think it's like... No, Marty Supreme actually won 0 awards out of 11 nominations, so that's bad. Yeah, I think One Battle After Another is looking pretty good for the Oscar win. If it loses PGA to Sinners next weekend, then we can talk. But there's really no evidence that it's going to lose PGA to Sinners. Sinners is strong, sure, but One Battle has not shown any weakness. It won 6 awards here. It won 4 awards at the Globes, 3 at Critics' Choice. So its win haul keeps getting stronger. I have it winning 7 Oscars right now. Picture, Director, Supporting Actress, Supporting Actor, Adapted Screenplay, Editing, Cinematography. I have winning those. If it wins SAG Ensemble, that's going to add casting to the mix. So it would be 8 Oscars, the biggest Oscar sweep since Slumdog Millionaire in 2008. Oppenheimer won 7 though. Everything Everywhere won 7. So I have to joining that club right now of recent Oscar sweeps. We're gonna have to see what PGA does. I really think they're doing one battle. Could they randomly do Sinners? Maybe, but when one battle went DGA, which I knew it was going to, but once it did, I was like, are they really doing Sinners for PGA? Sinners may win. SAG is very 50-50. They could go with Sinners, or they could go with one battle after another. One Battle is the most nominated film in SAG history, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if they did it. But like Sinners is the most awarded ensemble so far. I feel like it's more of an ensemble movie. It makes a lot of sense to win there. But if it wins ensemble, does Wumi Masaku come along? I think whatever wins the SAG ensemble is going to be my prediction to win the casting Oscar. So again, if Sinners wins, I go with Sinners. If One Battle wins, I go with One Battle. But yeah, the question becomes, if Sinners wins ensemble, does Wumi Masaku come along? And if One Battle wins both supporting categories at SAG, does it win ensemble? I feel like it might. So yeah, SAG ensemble may just come down to whoever wins supporting actress. And if it's Amy Madigan, that really does. If it's Amy Madigan, I'd probably just say it's Sinners. But if Madigan wins SAG, if Masaku wins, I think Sinners pretty much wins ensemble. If Taylor wins, maybe One Battle wins ensemble. Although for now, I'm just gonna say Taylor wins SAG and then Sinners still wins ensemble because I don't really have a good enough reason why. But I don't know if Masaku is just a British thing or if she's actually gonna win the Oscar. I feel like she would win the Oscar if Sinners was strong enough to win Best Picture. We'll see if PGA confirmed. I feel like they're not going to give it to Sinners. I feel like they're just going to do One Battle. But if they do Sinners, then that probably means Sinners wins Picture at the Oscars, and then Masaku wins Supporting Actress, so it gets an acting win. One Battle is just such a juggernaut, though. It's sweeping director, it's sweeping screenplay. It's guaranteed an acting win at the Oscars. Whether it's Taylor or Sean Penn or Del Toro, it's going to win at least one acting prize. It could win 2. I have it winning 2. But yeah, One Battle is just such a juggernaut right now. It hasn't been losing any steam. So I think it's going to win Best Picture at the Oscars. I think it's winning PGA. I still think Sinners might take SAG. Or they could easily just do One Battle. I'm not sure. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this stream. A lot happened today. I'm probably not going to be back doing live streams until next week when we have the SAG and PGA winners. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.